Hey, what's happening, Dynamites, and welcome to the Dynasty. In light of Neymar asking to transfer from Barcelona, I thought I'd just make a video quickly discussing my views and thoughts on it.
So I was looking at this article in the BBC. Neymar, Paris Saint-Germain, PSG must pay 198 million in full to sign Barcelona forward. Just having read through it, we can take a look here. Neymar came in today and told his teammates he wanted to leave. I'm pretty sure he's told the Barcelona board that he wants to go as well. The question I want to ask is, what would make Neymar want to trade PSG for Barcelona? And in my eyes, it makes absolutely no sense from a footballing or sporting perspective. Now, what we have to understand is football has changed quite a bit. Money means a lot more these days than a legacy does. I don't think Neymar's going to PSG for a legacy per se. I know he wants to win the Ballon d'Or. We all know that, that's his dream, that's his aspiration. He wants to step out of Messi's shadow. But is he going to do that at PSG in the French league? I mean, no disrespect to the French league. I think it's a great professional league, but it is nowhere near, say, the BPL, the Bundesliga, the Serie A, or even La Liga itself. It's just nowhere near. And I think it goes further than just a sporting decision. I think it's more a case of, well, we all know that his dad probably controls a lot more of his business affairs than everyone would like. And I believe, because seeing the rumors and the news going around, that his father is said to pocket quite a bit of change, that there's been pressure from that side. Neymar's not going to win the Ballon d'Or, even if he scores 50 goals in France, unless he breaks a record or something in the Champions League and PSG win it. That's the only way it's going to happen. By that token, what does that mean for the footballing world? How does that change it? Yes, on the one side, you're going to have a situation where the transfer fees are going to fly. It's going to go sky high. Breaking it by that big of a margin, the transfer record, Pogba, what was it, something like 100 mil? Now you have Neymar, they're talking about, 222 million euros. I mean, it's already crazy after the Pogba transfer, but this is going to be insane. And on the other side of that coin is, this is probably the first time in a very long time you have a big Barcelona player, a massive player in world football, requesting to leave a club like Barcelona because he wants to achieve bigger in terms of an individual sense. Does that mean that a lot of players now will start to say no? I mean, we also have clubs saying no to Barcelona. When their players say they want to go, they're saying no because they have the financial muscle to do so. We've seen Man United do it with Real Madrid with De Gea. We're seeing Liverpool doing it now with Coutinho, where they're saying, well, whether Coutinho wants to go or not doesn't really matter. We're not selling him for any price. PSG, in fact, did it to Barcelona when they said, Verratti, not happening. And I just think it's gotten to a point where it's very crazy. It's not, we will complain and say there's too much money in football, and you can buy a small GDP with that sort of money. Sport grows, businesses grow. Football is a big business now. We have to understand that. And the players nowadays have more than just football going on in terms of that business. They've got their images, they've got endorsement deals, all of that. And PSG, from that sporting standpoint, they're going to gain more than Barcelona in this transfer sense, because even if PSG paid 222 mil, I firmly believe they'll make that back in revenue. I really do. We got to look at when Ronaldo moved from Man United, for example. A lot of Man United supporters left supporting Man United and ended up supporting Real Madrid because of Cristiano Ronaldo. The same would happen if Messi decided he was going to leave Barcelona. He's going to now move somewhere else. There'll be plenty of Barca supporters that will move with him. The same will hold true for Neymar. He will have supporters that go with him all the way to PSG. And that's just how it goes. So PSG will make money in shirt sales, merchandising, advertising. They'll make their money back. But will they win a Champions League with just Neymar? And I have to say no. This is the same PSG team that rolled Barcelona 4-0. It's the same PSG that got rolled themselves by Barcelona in the second leg last season and lost with Neymar playing in that team in a starting role. That's not the... Neymar, yes, he was the difference in the match in a few moments, but that was not the difference. The difference was PSG not having the mentality to see the game through, because the biggest clubs will make sure that they're going to win regardless. At 4-0, you have to win. I mean, you can't lose like they did. That was just it was a joke. It was ridiculous. If they're also after Sanchez, where are you going to play both? Is Neymar going to play striker? We know he loves to cut in from the left. Sanchez has been doing that, so maybe Sanchez plays striker. We did so for Arsenal, but he too likes to go, onto the left at times. So there's a lot to think about and a lot to talk about. But we're seeing a shift in football where there are clubs with financial muscle struggling to do so. Release clauses could play a massive part in the future, because clubs are going to say no, pay the release clause. They've been doing that, but now with release clauses upwards of 200 mil, 300 mil, it was thought that clubs would never even go near that amount, but now they are. So when you have a player that doesn't have a release clause, like Coutinho or Hazard or anybody like that, you got 4 or 5 years on his contract, teams now have a lot more say upon the player's future, and players are going to throw a fit. We're looking at Virgil van Dijk. Southampton have no reason to let him go, whether he puts in a transfer request or not. I'm a Liverpool supporter. I would love for it to happen, but if PSG decide that no is no, then no is no. He's not going to move. We've seen it with Naby Keita at Leipzig. They said no, he's not going to go. And we saw that Real Madrid got their price for Morata after saying no when Man United bid. So that's where football's at. It's a big money game, and I think we've got to adapt as people. But if you're a fan going to the stadiums, it costs a lot of money to go. It's no longer just a day out with the family or something that you do recreation. It's costing thousands and thousands of pounds and euros and dollars just to be a football fan, from merchandising to stadium tickets, streaming matches, whatever. It's a big money business, and that's where football's at. So this Neymar transfer is going to make a big splash in more than just a financial sense. It's going to make a big splash in a footballing sense as well, because I truly believe that because of the Ronaldo and the Messi era, players now want more of a legacy than money. They're getting plenty of money. Most players now, 30,000 a week, 50,000. We're seeing average players around that figure. And I think what we've been missing in football for, say, the last 10 years are players that want to leave behind a legacy. Like Coutinho had said, he'd love a statue of himself at Anfield. We know Gerrard's going to have one. That, for the last 10 years, will not be the case for many footballers, because many footballers decided to leave their clubs. And I think a lot of players now, they aim for the Ballon d'Or. They grew up watching Messi and Ronaldo. They aim to become club legends, to break records, but you can only do that if you have a stable environment. And one of the things, that's crept up the last 5-10 years is players feeling that they deserve trophies. They deserve Champions League. And the argument always is, you were in a team that could make Champions League. If you like Raheem Sterling was a couple of years ago, who played in the Champions League with Liverpool and did absolutely nothing, and then comes out and says he deserves to play Champions League football, not in so many words, but that's basically what, I have to be playing Champions League football. I have to be winning trophies. You couldn't even do it in a team that had Luis Suarez in it. You couldn't even do it in a team where you had decent players around you. And hear me out. I'm not talking about, teams that are going to struggle to hold on to their best talent because they don't have the same caliber around them. I'm talking about big sides. I'm talking about like the likes of Juventus losing players because a player has to be playing in a certain league or a certain team because he deserves it. And the pundits coming out saying he deserves none of that. And so when I'm looking at Neymar here, he doesn't deserve to win Ballon d'Or if he can't outstrip Messi in the same team. He doesn't deserve it at all. He's not in his shadow because, it's just Messi. And people will argue and say that's the case. But he's in Messi's shadow because he cannot beat Messi's achievements. He's not done so. He's not had one season. Messi's now 30. He's 30 this year. And Neymar, who's 25, is not doing the things that Messi did at 25, and yet he wants all the accolades that Messi has. Now, I got to disagree with him in that sense. So, Football's changed in the fact that there's just too much ego as well flying around, and players are entitled. And it's a bit like the generation that we have today, where everybody's entitled. I'm entitled to a higher salary. I'm entitled to have this job or this role or to be a millionaire. You're not entitled to anything, guys. And so that's just my 2 cents on the situation, and that's where I'm gonna leave it at. If you like this video, if you like these discussions, please make sure you leave me a like and leave me a comment on your thoughts on the current situation as well with Neymar and football in general. I would love to hear what you guys think about that. So my name is The Way 10. This is The Dynasty. I'm signing out. Till next time, peace.